the Draco project. Let's see how this thing runs. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Chris at Rockford Ordnance, and got another thing to bring you tonight. I had been meaning to do a video on this for a while, and I watched another similar video today on YouTube, and it reminded me to do a video on this thing, but it also kind of irked me a little bit, and we'll get into that. But got a really cool, well, I won't say rifle, pistol, and it's a mini Draco, Romanian mini Draco that we've done up. And we're going to talk about what we've done to it, how it shoots, its finer points, and what I think of it and how it's held up so far. I was watching this other video today, and let me just say this, I'm not banging on anybody, but man, some guys just need to not take themselves so seriously. You know, guys are talking about, well, this is a go rifle, and it's this is a fighting rifle. The way I've got it set up, it's a fighting rifle, and just all this craziness, you know. I swear the guy did enough mag changes to wear the gun out, you know. And talking about, well, this is the optic to have, and the this to have, and the that to have. Great, you know, T1s, all that stuff, no doubt, good stuff. That's not to say there isn't other good stuff out there, stuff that's comparable. Maybe it's not going to last 7 years fighting in desert conditions somewhere. Then again, how many of us are fighting for 7 years in desert conditions, you know? The stuff I use, we run our stuff pretty hard. While I don't abuse it, stuff does happen, and I shoot way more than the average guy out there. 7.62 alone, you know, I don't know, maybe go through 10, 12,000 rounds this year, on top of all the other stuff, maybe more, you know. And, you know, guys bragging, well, I shot 20,000 rounds. Okay, maybe a couple of you did. The rest I call bullshit. But again, I'm not here to slam people. I'm just, man, don't take yourself so seriously. It's frankly, it's annoying in a way. But let's talk about what we did to this thing. It's a solid, the way we've set this up, it's a solid weapon. A few things are on here just because I haven't had time to finish it up. So I threw some stuff on there that's probably not going to stay, and a few things I just haven't had time to get to, or the money to get to, frankly. But let's talk about it. It started out life as a mini Draco pistol. Nothing from here back. The back plate on these is just flat. There's no hole drilled for a stock or even for a sling clip, anything back there. It's just a flat back of the receiver, okay? It comes with a wood handguard, kind of a blonde laminate wood handguard, and no gas tube cover, if I remember correctly. Anyhow, the first thing I wanted to do with this was add a brace and find a forend that I could mount an optic, because let's face it, in stock configuration, you have a very short plane here, very short distance between the rear sight and the front sight. So you would think that it wouldn't be all that accurate, and I'll get to that in a minute. So I wanted to find a forend that could hold the accessories that I wanted for this gun. If I remember correct, it came with a US made, like an A6 flash hider, and I think I gave that one to my buddy. So I got just this Tapco on here for now. It's US made, I believe it's a Tapco. SB47 brace. So, you know, these braces are made to be just that, a brace. And they do a great job at it too. There's a couple ways I use it. You know, I like to kind of brace it along the top and side of my arm like this. And it really gives you a lot of leverage, you know, to hold the weapon out without shaking, without anything. Points very well. You can do it on this side and kind of brace it in like this, or probably the best way is, you know, as it's intended, and that's with the Velcro strap and putting your arm through the middle here. And it does exceptionally well like this, and especially if I tighten it down. I mean, the thing's rock solid. It works great. I mean, you know, it's hard to, you can't grab up here. Well, you can almost. But if you were to do, well, it just works good like this. Surprisingly good. I think this was one of the first braces out and probably still works as one of the best. So, you know, it is what it is. It's a pistol. And it actually really does a good job for what it was intended to do. I would recommend, you know, I mentioned that I have one of these spare, and I'll show you how this works. I can't pull it off of here. I have an extra one of these. They sell them like this, just the tube and the adapter with the fork that slides on under the grip. And, you know, I didn't, well, I suppose I could just buy the brace or one of their other newer braces they offer and put on here. But the reason I actually bought it, I couldn't pass it up for 10 bucks, but you could certainly use it in place of an M4 adapter on an AK rifle. So it may be a cheap way to go on something like that. So just a thought. I don't know if it would work with the tang coming off or not, but I thought I would, you know, for 10 bucks, who cares? I will also say that I believe the ATF says you should not modify a brace in any way, shape, or form. So if, like this, I bought the brace this way, I keep it this way. We don't ever want any problems in that department. And it works good as its intent, you know, as a brace. This is a weapon that is perfectly capable of firing as a pistol, and that's what we use it for, you know. Home defense, it's short, nice, doesn't weigh a lot, the super short barrel. I can't speak for the regular Dracos, you know, they're a little longer, but this or the micro are a fabulous pistol. You know, the micro may even be better, although you lose the option to put optic up here because there's like no room. So this is a happy medium. I can put an optic on it, use it for its intent, a pistol, and the brace helps out. It's a great package all the way around. You don't have to worry about drilling holes, making any permanent changes. It slides on under the grip here, and the grip screw and grip hold it in. And it's solid. I mean, I tightened this thing down the first time, and that's been it. It doesn't move. It's got a buffer tube built into it. That buffer tube screws into the mount here, and then it's also held in place with a roll pin. Just to give you guys a little, I don't know if it's a secret, but a tip, if you pound that roll pin out, I did it just to check whether or not a standard AR buffer tube would fit in there thread-wise. So I drove the roll pin out and unscrewed the tube that's in here now. And that's all it is a tube. There's no end on it or anything. And took AR-15 buffer tube and it's screwed right in. So you could do it or change out braces or whatever. Again, this is kind of just your basic brace, but it works really good on the rifle. It's certainly stiff enough to feel like a stock. The cheek weld is awesome, and it lines up perfectly with the sights and the red dot that's on here right now. It doesn't move, doesn't slip, doesn't go anywhere. It's really done its job. If I were to change it out, it wouldn't certainly not be for ergonomics, because this thing's very comfortable. It would purely be maybe aesthetics, or maybe a folder if I could do it, or I don't know, just maybe for the cool factor, you know, but this certainly does its job. I'm very happy with it. I also have an extra adapter and tube they had laying there without the brace, and it was out of the package. Guy sold it to me for like 10 bucks, so I can do something with that. We've got a standard Magpul grip on here. Again, like I said, I was just throwing this thing together, and it's very comfortable on this weapon. Moving forward, the trigger. I kept the stock trigger on here. Now, you guys know that I'm a huge proponent of the ALGs, both the Ultimate and the regular EL. Matter of fact, I like the UL, don't get me wrong, but that EL for the money, the black one, guys, it's hard to beat. And once that trigger, if you don't even need to do any work on it, but once you run that thing for a while, it's super slick too, and nice and light. If you like a light trigger, just a great trigger. Anyhow, went to work on this one, did my usual trigger job that I do. I profile the hammer and polish the bearing surfaces, make sure they're nice and straight for a crisp break and all. And it came out really well. It's not bad for a stock trigger. It's smooth. There's take up, you know. The reset is long, but it's smooth. It's not gritty, and it'll do for now. Does it need an ALG? Absolutely. Much better, faster, quicker trigger. So it will get one of those. Matter of fact, I was gonna put one in just for the video and thought, I'm gonna shoot it like it is. So that will come. That's a must. These triggers out of the box, they're crappy. There's no other word for it. Now, you're looking at this gun and you're saying, Chris, you're talking about some guy being too serious about a fighting rifle, but yet you got a Tapco mag in there. I got mags coming out my ears, guys. I got every mag under the sun. You know why I put this Tapco in here? Because for some reason, unlike any other gun in my collection, a Tapco to me just looks right on this gun. With the stock, with the fore end, its length, the whole package, it just looks right for some reason. I don't know, I just like it. The other thing is, these Tapco mag haters, snobs, whatever, obviously you haven't used them too long because they work, they always work, and I have yet to break one or wear one out. I'm not saying I would bet my life on it, but I certainly wouldn't be afraid to go into a gun battle with one of these mags. No more or less than any other mag I had. They fit nice and tight. They insert really nice. They're easy to grab, a lot of traction, and they work well. I've never had one fail, ever. Enough said. My opinion, yours may vary. Going forward, what I consider kind of the heart and soul of this build is this Manticore Arms Alpha Rail. I did a bunch of research trying to find what I wanted, and this fit the bill the best. There's not a ton of stuff out there, but this thing's awesome. It's 6160 T6 aluminum. The whole thing weighs 4 ounces. That's lighter than the wood setup, guys. I've got an angled forward grip here. I didn't know at first whether I'd want to do it because the Alpha Rail comes built in with a hand stop here, and in the hand stop is a QD attachment point. It's also key mod, which, okay. Nothing wrong with key mod. I'd rather have M-LOK, I guess, but you know what? Frankly, key mod items are easier to put on than an M-LOK in a lot of cases. The M-LOK can take a little dicking around, you know, if they start spinning on you, if you don't set them up just perfect when you're attaching and stuff. But either way, super nice. How it attaches, it fits in like any other handguard into the receiver. It attaches with the stock screw that the standard wood handguard does. But in case that screw were to fall out, there's a flange on the front here, and the muzzle device holds it on. So should you lose that screw, this is kind of a backup. It won't come off. So we've got the Bravo Company angle brake here, and you know, this is maybe it's kind of like a cheap build, but like I said, I threw stuff on there. What did we put on here? A Bushnell, what is it, the T25 red dot. Everybody's used these things forever and ever. They're cheap, they're inexpensive. Guess what? They work. And they keep on working. This thing's been tossed around. It's been from gun to gun to gun to gun. Used, abused, and just keeps on working. Amazing. Guess what? It doesn't burn out either. This thing's been torture tested with heat like you wouldn't believe. And the biggest thing on the mini Draco, look guys, you don't have much room. You got from here to here. A red dot barely fits. You know, there's no room to move it one or even one notch on the pick rail back or forward. So you really got to go small. A reflex sight was the way I was going to go originally, but I had this thing laying around and decided, what the hell? I'll run it till it burns out. How many of these can I buy, you know, in place of a T1? The T1 is what it is. Nobody's taken away from that. And if you had to have one sight, yeah, that's probably what you'd do. But, you know, for the money, it's hard to beat. The one thing I would change, and as far as the sights go, unlike other Romanian variants, the front sight has a full hood, similar to a Chinese Draco. I've thought a ton about cutting that open, and the guy doing the other video had said the same thing. I was glad he kind of reaffirmed my thoughts on it. When you're shooting just iron sights or even through the red dot, that full hood just is in the way. It kind of messes with your sight picture. I just haven't taken the time and done it, but that will happen. It's a definite thing that has to happen on this gun. Safety. Mr. Krebs was nice enough to provide us, well, he didn't provide it, I bought it, but he engineered it. His safety, these are just the go-to safety. It's what every rifle should have. So it works great on this gun. The gun I actually got on vacation, saw a deal on it and got it cheap. And altogether, you know, this wasn't all that expensive to put together. It's a great weapon all in all. Super maneuverable, super well balanced little weapon. Let's talk about some stuff that comes up all the time when you're talking about Dracos, mini Dracos, and any short-barreled rifle for that matter. Everybody wants to talk about how loud they are and the flash. Both can be mitigated. They are showstoppers at the range. Let's make no mistake about that. With a flash hider like this, contrary to other opinions, you're not stopping the flash on this thing. You're just not. Take a look at these pictures, guys. Take a look at these pictures of that fireball. That's with this flash hider on it. But that's a 3-foot fireball out of the end. I have multiple pictures of it. It throws fireballs midday, plain as day. They're huge. You can see them. Yes, they're there. I don't know that even a better flash hider is going to get rid of it. I'll try a few others on here. Maybe they will. I've got a Manticore, Night Break, and a bunch of other flash hiders around here that I can try and see if they mitigate that flash a little bit. As far as noise, hey, 7.62 is a loud round. It's a rifle round, no doubt. Is it louder than a 16-inch barrel? Absolutely it is. Is it a bigger thump? Yes, it is. Do people notice it more so than a regular rifle? Absolutely. Does it bother me while I'm shooting? No. And there's ways to mitigate that too. You know, you could use a flash can or something, one of the muzzle devices to send the sound down range. That might be a nice solution. If you're using it for self-defense, especially in a house. I did forget Ear Pro one time outdoors with this, and I can tell you it hurt my ears a lot more than any other time that I've forgotten Ear Pro and shot a firearm. It's loud, no doubt about it. Would it stop me from using it in an indoor situation or anything? No, probably not. I probably would put a can on it though, a flash can, so it would direct it down away from me. Accuracy, let's talk about accuracy. This is surprising. With this setup right here with the red dot, I hope I can find the pictures because I do have proof of it, but I'll have to see if I can find them. If I did find them, you're looking at them right now. If not, they're not there. Under a 2-inch group at 100 yards, freestanding. Then there's another one where I rested it on a bag, and I think it was about the same. Or maybe the freestanding one was, off, God, I'm losing my mind tonight, guys. Just offhand shooting. Maybe that was the 4 or 5-inch one, and the resting it on the bag was a 2-inch group at 100 yards. It is shockingly accurate, So I think that covers about everything we did. We talked about the brace, the grip. We're going to change out the trigger. Talked about my cheapo Tapco here, the angled foregrip, the Manticore arms alpha rail. I just checked their website too. They're out of stock. But guys, it's a great rail. Solid as heck, tight, really well fitting, really well designed. And good people over there too. Sven is an awesome guy. Met him at the bullpup shoot. This little optic, I'd probably trade it out for primary arms. I do like the primary arms. And whatever flash hider you want to put on there. You want to see something else cool too? Take a look at this thing. How fitting, a Romanian drum. How cool is that, guys? There's a toy for you. Not a toy, there's a battle weapon for you. This thing will run as good as anything else out there. 75 rounds, just pop, 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 pop. Nice, cool, badass, whatever you want to call it. Super neat. Let's talk about something that's different inside these in case you haven't seen one. Standard top cover. Here's where things change up. Your spring and guide rod are exactly the same, but you've got this block in the back. And basically what that does is keep it from popping out the back of the rails. Because you've got basically just a carrier and a piston head. The piston rod is gone, shortened up for the length. You can see we polished the bottom of it. When I did my trigger job, I just do all my usual stuff. But other than that, everything inside the gun is the same. And it's really smooth, guys. So you just pop that block back in, put your spring back in, and it's just a little different maneuver to get it in. And it's a really short throw. we'll throw in some pictures of it and tell me what you think. It's a cool little gun, and it would make, I mean, it does a lot of things. Would be a great home defense weapon, a great truck gun, great anything. Really, really cool. And if you don't want to go through the hassle of SBR and something and tax stamps, well, there you go. Pretty neat. If you guys got any questions or anything, or any questions about how any of this stuff works, or experiences I've had with them, ask down below. Let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. This front rail went on super easy. No big deal. 6 screws. 6 and the bottom one's 7, and it's on. And you're all set. Cool. So, thanks for watching our videos. As always, please like and subscribe, and we'll keep bringing you some cool stuff. I got some really neat stuff coming down the pipe, so stay tuned. Thanks again. Rockford Ordnance out.